you are from a higher social status, or if your parents are influential, then you are in his good books. No matter how bad your grades are, no matter how bad you are morally, still you are going to end up in his good book. Me having a relationship outside the school, after school hours, was a topic to be discussed inside school with the principal. Hey guys, it's me Alina. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to episode 4 of Life Lane. So today I'm going to share with you guys my experience with toxic teachers. Now, before starting the video, a quick disclaimer. I'm not going to take his name because he is still serving in that school. So yeah, no matter how harsh and scarring his words and actions were towards me, still he was my teacher. So yeah, I'm not going to take his name. Also, by making this video, I'm not disrespecting any teachers, or I do not want to hurt anyone's sentiment. I just want to make it very clear, this is just a part of my life. I'm sure everyone, if not everyone, most of you guys must have came across toxic people, like toxic teachers. It can be of any form. It can be anyone, like your teacher, your dance teacher, your gym teacher, or anyone elder to you whom you consider teacher. It can be even your parents. So yeah, it's just my experience. I'm just sharing my experience. I am not disrespecting, or I do not want to hurt anyone's sentiment. So yeah, throughout the video, if I get a little bit harsh with my words and with expressing things, then just keep this thing in mind. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not referring to everyone. So to give you a context of what kind of a person he was that kind of teacher. I'm sure most of you guys know he have complete different rules for good books and bad books. It is neither based on your academics, nor on your grades, nor on your morals. He have complete different rules for his good and bad books. Like for example, if you take his extra classes like tuitions after school, then you are in his good books, no matter what kind of a student you are. Also, if you are his yes man, you say yes to all of his beliefs, all of his thoughts, and all of his actions, then you are in his good book. Also, if you are from a higher social status, or if your parents are influential, then you are in his good book. No matter how bad your grades are, no matter how bad you are morally, still you are going to end up in his good book. So he was that kind of a teacher. And to give you guys a context of how I was growing up, I was very underconfident. I was very insecure of how I look, how my skin color was, how my lips were, how my hair was all rough, and I had so much split ends. So yeah, to say the least, I was really insecure even with my existence in that place, because there was so much bullying, not like active bullying. There were so much passive aggressive bullying, mostly around your look, around how you look and where you come from. Now of course, I was not a saint. I did some mistakes as well. I was growing up. There's so much curiosity while growing up, peer pressure, of course the bullying. So yeah, I'm not trying to say I'm very good in comparison to him. Of course I made some mistakes as well, but again, it boils down to when your extra class students sitting just a seat behind you, kissing throughout the school trip, and you had no idea. The whole school knows about it, and you are standing in front of them and you have no idea. You are okay closing your eyes. Then again, in the first floor, class 10, I still remember there was a couple that got stuck, and they were there for an amount of time they shouldn't be there. Again, he was there, standing there, saying, oh, the door must have just got jammed and they just might have got locked, whereas everyone was knocking from outside and they weren't coming out. But me having a relationship outside the school, after school hours, was a topic to be discussed inside school with the principal. So yeah, he was very selective where to open his eyes and where to keep his eyes shut. So let's start from the beginning. I met him in 6th standard, in 6th class. Again, I'm not going to share with you guys which subject, because if I tell the subject, then I'm sure you're going to get the name as well. So I'm not naming the subject as well. So yeah, he taught us that particular subject from class 6 onwards. Now I was good in studies. Now not good, I didn't came in top 10. but I was good. I was weak only in this subject and Assamese. Till fifth standard as well, I was like, even in these subjects as well, I didn't fail. Even like my weakest subject, I didn't fail. Then came class 6 and that teacher as well. Now I don't know if it was me or my capability of understanding. I did not understand a thing he was teaching. Now being an underconfident girl, like really underconfident girl, standing up in a class of like 60 students and just asking her doubts like how you got this to this. It was nerve-wracking for me back then, but still I wanted to learn. I wanted to get at least passing mark for that subject. So I stood up once and I asked him, how did you get this point? And he just repeated the same thing that he just repeated 2 minutes ago, which I didn't understand. And he just repeated the same thing and he asked me, did you understand? And when I said no, he started mocking like, this is very basic. In short, he was saying me that you are dumb. Like everyone got it, you are dumb. And after that, for someone that is very underconfident, I'm sure she is not going to ask. And I did the same as well. I never, after that incident, I never stood up to ask anything. If I didn't understood, I just nodded my head and I just kept doing whatever he taught. If I understood by myself, I understood, and if I didn't, I didn't. And back home, my mother wasn't able to help me with my studies, and of course, my father is a working man, so my parents really didn't have time to help me with my studies. I had to like understand everything myself. Also, I didn't have any extra classes. Now I'm sure you must know, like in an exercise there are like many problems, many questions. He just does 2 or 3 of them in the classroom and rest you have to do as a homework. Again, I did not understand. Coming back home, I could not do my homework. I could not finish it because I didn't understand. And next day I went back to school without doing my homework and he used to punish us. I guess that's fair enough. And that's how basically 6th standard passed. And then came 7th standard. Now before going to the 7th standard, I need to introduce with you guys a new character, my best friend. So I met this girl in class 6. She was just a classmate. Going to class 7, we were seated together. Teachers used to place our sitting, so that's how we ended up together and we started talking and discussing, and that's how towards the end of class 7, we became best friends. Now, I do not remember vividly if it was like class 7 or 8, either in these 2 classes only. She, my best friend, had a boyfriend. They were like the cute and it couples in our school. Now, of course, it wasn't like college. They didn't hold hands and walked around, but you know that sweet puppy love back then. And somehow he got the air of it, and now he have a problem. And his next problem was having male friends, especially females having male friends. So the place where I came from, I didn't have any friends from my place, and the bus I went to school in, there was also no like girl or friend in my age or in my class. So I didn't have female friends going from home to school. So there were these 2 guys who were just like my brothers. They were 2 years older than me, and we used to go by the same bus to school, and that's how we became friends. And now he could not digest that. Even though they were like older than me, they were just like my brothers, still he could not digest that. Plus, the friend that I was, my best friend, she had a boyfriend. In his eyes, both of us, we are just like 2 thorns for him. And slowly, gradually going to class 8 and 9. And in that subject, my marks started degrading slowly and slowly. I barely got pass mark. I started failing as well, not in like yearly but in unit test wise. And then cut to 9th standard. My parents wanted to enroll me in his extra classes because, as I said, I was getting weaker and weaker in that subject, and that's how he met my parents. And we both, me and my best friend, we both took classes in his place, and suddenly we saw a shift in his behavior, in his words, in his actions. Like everything became very soft. Still, it was like punching and poking, but everything became like blunt. Instead of like getting hit by a like knife, it was like a blunt knife. It still hurt, but like the pain was softer. I hope I'm making you guys understand. And going there, I saw like a very different side of what a teacher should or should not be. Like, I was very heartbroken because if he was strict and very strict, he applied the same rules to everyone, then you would not feel that hurt. But he was very specific to target. I don't know if I want to say target or what, but he very specifically chose students to like put them in put them in. I'm sorry, like my hands are shaking just thinking about it. So yeah, he just thought very meticulously which one should go in his bad books and good books. So when we used to go there in his place for extra classes, students that were senior to us, just a class senior to us, they also took classes there. And he have a place behind, so he stays there, he cooks there, and there is this extra room there. And I saw like couples chilling there, and he do not have any problem. And I don't know if I want to say much about it, but it seems like it doesn't bother him. So yeah, it just really broke my heart, like how he treated us this last 3-4 years just for basic things and things like that. He just side eyes it and he just shuts his eyes. It's nothing for him. So yeah, I will like very honestly and bluntly I can say that he was very biased. And by now he knows my parents, my best friend's parents as well. Now what he decided to do is that he comes to my parents and talks about my best friend and how I should not be with her. I should not be in a company with her. Then he goes to my best friend's parents and he says the same thing, like opposite way. And then came our board exam, class 10th exam, metric exam. Now I was trying my best to get good marks and to improve my this subject as well. But he was never ever like encouraging. He was always demotivating me in every ways possible. He even called my parents, like my father, and he is like, do you know, if you in this exam, in board exam, if you fail one subject, your daughter is going to fail the whole year. Do you know that? And my dad is like, yes, I'll tell her she have to study. Then I became very paranoid about like failing the exam, so I started working really hard. I barely can stay awake till 9 o'clock. That girl started waking up, washing my face, drinking tea, and working hard on that subject till like 11 and 12. And my parents could see that. I remember still my father used to just sit next to me so that I could study. And one fine day he met my father and he is like, is she studying? Again, he's repeating the same thing. Do you know, like if she fails in this subject, she is going to fail the whole year. And my father was like, no, she is working hard, she is studying till like 11 and 12. He was proud of me and he did express that to him. Up to next day in school, he just came to the class, he did a few and he was like, Alina, stand up. Then I stood up and then, how is your preparation? And I was like, yes, it's good, I'm trying my best. And he's like, this time you're going to get 80-90, right? And I was like, no sir, I'm just trying my best. I don't know how much I get, I'm just wishing I passed that subject. And out of nowhere he started mocking me. No, you are going to get 90, you are going to get 90. Your father said me you are studying till 11 and 12. And then he compared with like other girl, she was good at studies, she doesn't even study till 11 from now onwards, and you are doing that, you are definitely going to get 90 or above. And that wasn't encouraging. I can feel that he was just mocking. And after that incident, like I was very heartbroken and shaken to the core. I was like scarred. I felt really very bad. Like, if I'm not trying, you have a problem. If I'm trying, you have a problem. Like, what should I do then? So I became very unfazed and unbothered. Like, he came in, he said something, I didn't even replied, I didn't even looked at him. I became like that. Now he was at that point like he can't poke me and I wasn't triggered at all. Like I didn't even like made eye contact with him. I became like that. And then what happened is that he was a substitute to another subject, so science subject. We had to complete this project and submit it for our practical exam. So we worked like 6 months. We worked really hard for 6 months on this project, and then we submitted. And after like 10-15 days, he came to our like class. He was like, did everyone submit your science project? And everyone was like, yes. And then he specifically asked me and my best friend, did you two also submit it? Then we are like, yes. And he is like, I didn't find a copy of maybe yours or yours. I didn't find one. I just check quickly and I will let you know. And we were like very nervous because that was our 6 month work that we submitted for 20 marks, practical marks. And he came back and he's like, he told my friend's name, my best friend's name, and he was like, I didn't find your notebook, you didn't submit it. And she's like, I did submit it. And he was like, no, I didn't find your copy, submitted on this day, otherwise you are not going to get the 20 mark. And the time span he gave was just like 2 days. 6 months of work, he asked her to finish in within just 2 days and submit it, otherwise he was not going to give her the mark. Now, in this point, I don't think it was a coincidence. I don't think you lose the copy like that. Everyone submitted. We both worked together. We both wrote all that practical samples and stuff together. We submitted together, and one of the practical copy got lost. I remember she cried a lot, and then she and her boyfriend helped her to make all the projects. They completed within 2 days and then submitted. She did submit it. Now I don't know what did he gain out of it, but yeah, that's what he did. Again, even after all this, I came back home. I religiously studied that subject. I studied that subject so much that even if I see the question, I can tell that it was from this chapter and this exercise, even that number. So I basically just memorized everything. I practiced that hard for this subject, for this particular subject. And then came my result time, board exam result time. And I still remember my dad had that small phone and he was trying on his Google to find the result, to check the result, and he wasn't unable. And guess what? Who called? The same teacher called my father, and he was like, keep the sweets ready. She got first division and later in 3 subjects, and she got 90 marks in that subject. The subject I was supposed to fail, I got 90 marks. So the school ends, and that's how we cut our ties. Now whenever I see him around the streets or somewhere, because he lives in the same area, so whenever I go to the town or somewhere, I do come across him. But I'm sad to say that I do not greet him. I just look down and pass him. Even if I spot him somewhere, I know that he is going to call me, so I just change my direction. Because when you grow up slowly, you really understand the mental peace. Like, if not greeting him gives me peace, then I'm going to choose that. Again, I'm not disrespecting him. I just do not want to even cross path with him. So yeah, that's how our relationship is now. But recently, a year ago, our school hosted a function there. I met him. I was talking to my favorite teacher there, and then he came in and he's like, nowadays Alina is all grown up. She doesn't even like call us. I did give him a warm smile, like from bottom of my heart. I gave him a warm smile after many years. And like when you grow up, slowly you learn to like let go of things. You let go of resentment. You have more power on like forgiving and forgetting. So I gave him a warm smile, hoping like this is the closer, this is the end. So from next time onwards, whenever I see him, at least I can say hello or hi. But cut to 10 minutes later, we were there to like get clicked with our awards and teachers. We took some standing shots and then we sat down on the steps, and the photographer, like the person who was clicking the pictures, he was like, no, stand up. Standing poses are more good because the light is good, so you will get good pictures. And I don't know why, for some reason I was wearing a sadar mekhela, like a sari, So it was difficult for me to stand up instantly. So I just took few seconds more to stand up, then the rest, and from back of my head I can hear a voice and it's like, stand up, what are you doing, stand up. And everything like flashed in front of my eye. I could like remember that voice, even looking at who it was or who he was or who she was. And suddenly something triggered on my head. Like I was so frustrated. I was literally about to like start freshly and he did the same thing again. I just looked back at him. I don't know if it was disrespecting or what, but I did what my heart let me. I didn't stand up. Firstly, I didn't stand up. I just sat there. And that's how we came to square one again. I guess some people do not change. Like, you do not change as a person who you are. Your core doesn't change. So, yeah, that was it. That was my experience with this toxic teacher. I hope we do not meet again. Again, besides all this, be kind to everyone. You never know what everyone is going through. So yeah, if you cannot do anything good for others, do not do anything bad as well. So yeah, that's it for today's episode. Let me know on what topic do you want to hear story time next time. Love you all.